Over the next 10 minutes, we're going to take you through our recommendations to increase customer retention, lifetime value, and profit for Costa Club, Costa's loyalty scheme. We will cover the features that customers value most, how personalized communication matters, all while ensuring the program remains financially viable.
So, what's on the menu? We're going to take you through our primary research findings, both how they confirmed and differentiated from secondary research. Then, we'll get into what really matters, our recommendation.
To briefly outline, these are to promote existing underutilized features, cater to personal preferences, optimize resources, and to finally double down on Costa's USP.
Firstly, we completed secondary research. Then we visited Costa coffee stores to determine if this secondary research was applicable to Costa Club. We found some points of confirmation. For example, respondents preferred to treat themselves frequently, receiving free coffees rather than save up for big experiential rewards like barista lessons or merchandise. Participants also valued flexibility in choosing their rewards, especially the opportunity to divide their beans. Usually, 10 beans equals a free coffee, but respondents enjoyed a situation where they spent 2 beans, for example, and got different add-ons like an extra pump of vanilla in their latte. Finally, consumers preferred app communication over email correspondence. Especially young users hated the idea of an overcluttered inbox.
However, on certain points, primary research returned new findings, giving us different angles for recommendations. First and foremost, many respondents like Costa for its cozy atmosphere and good coffee. For them, simplicity is king, especially compared to Starbucks' complex tier system. Otherwise, personalization was welcomed. Secondary research brought up possible concerns to do with privacy, but most respondents embraced targeted promotions and offers. Finally, in line with current trends across FMCG, respondents, especially non-users, cared about sustainability, suggesting it was a motivator to join the scheme. Of course, this must be taken with a pinch of salt, considering it's easier to talk the talk than walk the walk.
From primary research, we found that some existing features that were previously unknown were popular when people were asked about them. For example, the double rewards for using reusable cups, the student referral program, and the swaps feature particularly, where members can exchange 2 or 3 beans for add-ons rather than 10 for a free coffee. Costa should maximise the visibility of these popular features across 4 channels: app, email, in-store, and word of mouth. Considering the app first, Costa should increase the size of the buttons that detail these offers. Using microanimations such as the stars or the pop-up on screen will draw attention towards the buttons and increase their chance of being clicked.
In terms of email, Costa should deliver more personalized messages. Rather than merely asking Costa users to visit their local, the subject should be based on one of the more popular features. Something along the lines of, next time you order your favorite mocha, bring a reusable cup to get an extra bean.
In-store is pretty simple. Staff should just reinforce the impact of the other channels, asking questions like, would you like to use your saved beans for a free pump of vanilla today?
Finally, Costa should spruce up its existing referral scheme. Currently, the scheme rewards referrers and referees with 5 free beans. In line with consumers liking instant small rewards, we would change this to award both parties 1 free coffee that is instantly redeemable. We would also direct this towards students, because as discovered in primary research, students love to chat about bargains and other ways of saving money. Therefore, we would bring this scheme at the start of the academic year, aiming for as many student sign-ups as possible.
But as Peter Drucker said, what gets measured gets managed. Therefore, app recommendations should be evaluated by A/B testing. Running these tests will determine which particular changes have independent effects on redemption rates. Measuring the click-through rate on modified buttons will also be able to see how many people are actually using them.
Comparatively, email marketing can be measured by engagement time as well as link click-throughs. After all, people who are actually reading the emails for any period of time are most likely to be interested in what they have to say.
In-store is slightly different. As we're measuring employees rather than consumers, this will require hiring people outside of Costa to check in on whether employees are actually using their training and promoting these features.
Word of mouth is perhaps the simplest one. We can measure how many times the unique referrals are used. Otherwise, we can measure active user retention over a period of say 30 days to ensure students really do keep coming back for more. More generally, we can monitor our customers' thoughts by gathering feedback online. We can also measure their actions by measuring uptake on popular features.
In this current day and age, personalizing the customer experience is crucial. To do so requires being in tune with customers. Through primary research, we found that they love the convenience of Costa Coffee. To reinforce this USP, Costa should combine geofencing technology with consumer databases. Consider the case of a hard-working doctor or nurse. During a tough day at work, they get a notification from the local Costa Coffee saying, "Order your regular." No effort, barely any walking, they collect their coffee and they're back working hard.
Otherwise, speaking to Costa consumers in their natural habitat, we encountered a lot of variations in the rewards people like to see. Some wanted it simple, free coffee every Monday. Others wanted to save up for something bigger, so we should let them have that choice. Regardless of what consumers choose, expiry notifications are a must. Coffee is a habitual consumption, so any way to reintroduce customers to it has significant long-term benefits.
Again, to ensure the success of these recommendations, we must measure them. How do we do this? Well, for app-based improvements, measure click-through rate to ensure that our consumers are actually interacting with these features. The same is true of expiry notifications. We also use social listening tools such as UScan to monitor what people actually think of the new changes, sentiment analysis and specifics. All of this we will do whilst keeping an eye on cost to ensure profit maximisation.
We should also look at maximizing what most of the expenses that Costa is already paying for. One thing we noticed when we went to Costa at 5 p.m. was that barely any people were there. Of the people that were there, no one was drinking coffee. But at the same time, the lights were running, the barista was being paid, and the rent was coming out of Costa's bank account. To maximize these costs, Costa should introduce the double points double hour, where loyalty scheme members get double the points for coming in at off-peak hours. Hopefully, we'll see more people chilling in Costa after work as a result.
We also spoke to a Costa barista and found that, on average, a quarter of his whole spread is left over at the end of the day. To fix this, we propose a too good to go type scheme, where loyalty scheme members exchange 20 beans to redeem a surprise pastry bag. This way, those people who said they like new rewards will be introduced to new rewards. In the long term, Costa will also improve its brand image, creating differentiation, especially compared to the recent scandals of Starbucks and Cafe Nero.
To measure these, we will consider firstly foot traffic increase, where we track the number of people coming into the store towards the end of the day. We will also measure sales volume during the happy hour, segmented by different types of products to figure out what is most popular. And finally, for the Costa closeout scheme, we will monitor how many people are actually picking up pastries, aiming to reduce the amount of end-of-day produce. Let it be noted that this should be considered over a longer period of time.
So, members like Costa for its coffee, but many non-members have not even tried it. So we propose a blind taste test like Coke versus Pepsi in the past, Costa versus Starbucks versus Pret versus Cafe Nero versus whoever else wants to join. Perhaps this will grow the sector, allowing Costa the same piece of a larger pie. But it also might help Costa to get a bigger piece of the pie in total. Think about this. A 20-year-old student sees a campaign on TV, the ultimate taste test. They think, okay, let's give this a try. And luckily, that will be made possible in certain Costa locations. Finally, inspired by influencers online, they're encouraged to produce content about it themselves. Then, we are viral.
To conclude, we have 4 recommendations to improve Costa Club, bringing in more people and profit. Firstly, promote existing features.
Secondly, to cater to personal preferences.
Thirdly, to optimize resource usage.
And finally, to double down on USPs. We have a detailed report we are sending over with all of our research behind these 4 recommendations. Please do give it a read and we look forward to hearing from you.